It goes without saying that the last few days have presented tons of new Multiverse of Madness updates, insights, realizations, and confirmations. As we know, Patrick Stewart is going to be involved in some capacity in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
We should tell him the truth.
We also learned that the Illuminati, or the equivalent of the Illuminati that will be protecting the multiverse, is going to also be in the movie. And these are some huge details that we got. And all of those details put together do leave us to believe that there are so many more other fun surprises headed our way when this movie finally does hit the big screen. One of these surprises that has continuously been a hot topic since the release of the trailer and the new poster for Doctor Strange 2 is the inclusion of none other than Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, who will be coming over from the Fox universe and introduced to the MCU, the sacred timeline, where his third movie will take place. Today we piece together exactly how it is that he will fit into this insane movie and why it's necessary for him to show up now and not necessarily have to wait until his third movie comes out to show us the transition of your favorite anti-hero mercenary, Deadpool. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much more. I am your host, Chris, and if you're new to the channel or haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our daily uploads. Yes, we have had tons of leaks, rumors, fan theories, and ideas of which characters will be making their way into the MCU, or just as cameos in this Doctor Strange sequel. Of all of them, who are you most excited for? Me? 100% it has to be Deadpool. He's my favorite character from the comic books. My favorite comic is Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, and I just think his inclusion and the addition of him will really bring a whole ton of fun and a new face to the MCU, a new idea and different types of jokes, maybe even a little darker, raunchier, and overall rated R content, which Kevin Feige has said Deadpool will remain rated R, even though now he is on Disney's side. So follow me on this awesome theory as to how it is Deadpool will make this MCU transition. So for starters, we need to go to the end of Deadpool 2, and if you recall, Deadpool in the post-credit scene fixed Cable's time-traveling device. He went through and cleaned up the timeline, specifically killing himself, saving his girlfriend, and doing all sorts of stuff that he probably was not supposed to be. After they fixed the bracelet for him, they even said that that was probably a bad idea.
That was probably a bad idea. What have we done?
Who knows exactly how they fixed this bracelet, but he wasn't just time traveling, as he was jumping across different realms and multiverses, even capable of shooting Ryan Reynolds taking the role of Green Lantern and making a funny joke about how bad that movie was. And I'll be honest, at the time, I believed this was just a really funny joke. Deadpool going, breaking the fourth wall, shooting characters, killing himself as Deadpool, killing himself as Green Lantern, saving his girlfriend, all of the fun. But now I think there's an opportunity here to use that information to transition Deadpool into the MCU. So follow me with this. Let's just presume, for the point of this theory, that Professor X is the same Professor X from the Fox universe. He might have caught Deadpool messing with reality, messing with timelines, messing even maybe with the multiverse and shooting other versions of Ryan Reynolds, captured him as one of the members of the council that protects the multiverse, and incarcerated Deadpool at this really cool big huge palace where we see Wanda have a fight scene, where we see Doctor Strange escorted to the throne room by the Iron Legion bots. My assumption is that this authorization, this location exists somewhere outside of time, much like the TVA. Now, whether that's inside the quantum realm or inside some type of multiversal pocket, it exists there, and it is the authority, which means anybody that breaks the rules and gets arrested for manipulating reality, manipulating the multiverse, get brought before the Illuminati, this multiversal council, much like we've seen Doctor Strange in the handcuffs, and potentially could become incarcerated or held at this location outside of time where they can no longer manipulate and change the multiverse. I'm sure you see where I'm going with this theory, but it's possible that Professor X brought Deadpool here and that he is actually in one of these jail cells doing time for manipulating the multiverse and having a good laugh about killing a different version of Deadpool, killing the character of Green Lantern, messing around with all sorts of stuff he wasn't supposed to touch. It would make sense because the whole purpose of having a multiversal authority is to protect it and to keep its integrity. And if you break any laws, whether they be laws of your state, your country, or of the multiverse, there are consequences by the authorities that are in charge of that, the jurisdiction. Professor X and his council here would be the jurisdiction. They've collected Deadpool and he's in jail. Well, what did we learn in the trailer? Wanda is going to absolutely lose her crap and destroy this place. She's going to fight and possibly kill a lot of the members of this council. She's a very, very capable individual and superhero who has now realized her power and potentially is also possessed by the Darkhold. So as she's destroying this place, which yes, we did see in the trailer, peek the little statue here behind her as she's fighting this unknown character, and the same statues can be seen while Doctor Strange is being escorted in. This is 100% happening at the place where the Illuminati are residing, the place where Deadpool might actually be kept in jail. So during this mass destruction, Deadpool escapes from jail and at some point sneaks into a Doctor Strange portal, or some other manner of leaving this place, and he ends up in the main MCU timeline where we will see him in Deadpool 3. Now there are a few different options for this. Yeah, they could show it on screen somehow in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness happening in the background and all the craziness, or they can kind of show it from his perspective, his point of view at the beginning of Deadpool 3. Like, wow, this crazy witch lady and this crazy doctor who has magic hands, I'm going to use these guys to get out of here, and that's how Deadpool 3 can open. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. And if it was the case that Ryan Reynolds escaped from his own point of view and we don't see it until Deadpool 3 happens, then Ryan Reynolds wouldn't be a liar. What do you mean by that? Well, today we have another case of the werewolf, as Ryan Reynolds has come out and said that he is absolutely not in Doctor Strange. Saying specifically in an interview, now that all the speculation about him being in this poster is out there, yeah, I guess I'm not really supposed to say anything about that, but I'm really not in the movie. I could be lying, but I promise you, I'm not in the movie. So yes, Ryan Reynolds said this yesterday, but guys, how many times have we heard from different actors that they're not in the movie? I mean, Andrew Garfield, for prime example, I'm not the werewolf, I'm not the werewolf. He was very much the werewolf, and I understand why. They all have signed NDAs and contracts, and they're not allowed to just sit there and say, yep, I'm in the movie. So when they get asked in these intense interviews, they have to say, no, I'm not in the movie. Ryan Reynolds even said, I could be lying, but I'm not in the movie, I promise. Now, it's possible that he actually isn't in the movie, and that he will be in the background of the film the entire time, make his sneaky break for the sacred timeline of the MCU, and we will see it from his point of view during Deadpool 3. But it's also very, very plausible that he's just lying here because he has to. Much like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were the werewolves, well guess what, Ryan Reynolds now could also be the werewolf. It's really hard because when you hear from actors trying to say, hey, I'm not in the movie, the first thing we do now is not believe them because of how many times we've been lied to. Regardless, there are these two scenarios, one where he actually is in the movie in the background, or he gets a little phrase where he breaks the fourth wall and says, guys, shh, I'm gonna sneak into this magic man's hole. A cool, classic, inappropriate Deadpool joke, and then, off he goes to the MCU where we'll pick up with him during Deadpool 3. Or maybe we don't see it until Deadpool 3, but it still happened in the same way. Regardless, this would be a really, really fun way to integrate Deadpool into the MCU. It would be fun to get a little tease of it in Multiverse of Madness, and I think overall, regardless of what Ryan Reynolds has to say, a lot of people believe he was in this poster, very well hidden in the background, just like he very well might be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But let me know, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's not a perfect theory. I did come up with it myself. This is not a plot leak or anything like that. I just think it makes a lot of sense. He's manipulating time, almost manipulating the multiverse as he goes and meets other Ryan Reynolds, and Professor X could just lock him up and put him in the Illuminati's holding cell while they try to figure out how to fix all of the mayhem that Deadpool has created. Regardless, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Is this something you would like to see happen? Do you think would be fun, or do you just think it would be a distraction from the actual movie? As always, thank you to everybody who watched till the very end of the video. If you made it to the end, let me know and I'll give you a little reward in the comment section. And I'll see you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.